What if I told you that building wealth is nothing to do with working harder? What if everything you've been taught about financial success is actually keeping you stuck? I mean, look around you. Most of us are doing what we're supposed to do, right? We're going to work every single day. We're trying to save a bit each month. And maybe you're reading the occasional financial book or watching videos about investing. After the meetings are done, after the family is being taken care of, after you've handled all the urgent things, there's this nagging feeling that despite doing everything right, you're not really getting ahead. And it's not that you're not trying, it's that nobody told us that real wealth isn't built through big, dramatic changes. It's built through tiny decisions that we make every single day, decisions that most people don't even realize that they're making. And I know this because I live this exact story. But what transformed my life wasn't what everyone told me to do. It wasn't some secret investment strategy or some crazy side hustle. And it wasn't about waking up at 4 a.m. or taking cold showers. It was about changing these 4 specific micro decisions that I made every single day. And these small pivots helped me build an 8-figure net worth in just 5 years. 2025 is just around the corner, and like most people, you're probably taking time off work to spend the holidays with your family. Maybe you're sitting there with a cup of coffee, scrolling through your phone, and suddenly it hits you. You're in almost the exact same place that you were at the end of 2023. And the problem isn't that you're not working hard enough. Between your job, your family responsibilities, and trying to maintain some semblance of a social life, you're probably working harder than ever. But you probably feel something's missing. So today I'm going to share with you these 4 micro decisions with you. And these aren't just theory. These are the exact decision frameworks that I use every single day. And more importantly, I'm going to show you how to implement them in your life, even if you have a demanding job and a busy life. Micro decision number 1 is the inverse focus rule. Let me share with you something fascinating about your brain that nobody talks about. So those first 90 minutes after you wake up, that's when your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain responsible for strategic thinking and decision making, is at its absolute peak. But here's what most of us do. We grab our phones and we immediately flood our brains with dopamine hits, with social media likes, email notifications, news headlines, etc. And when you do this, 2 things happen simultaneously. Number 1, you trigger your cognitive diffusion. That means you scatter your peak mental energy across dozens of small decisions. And number 2, you flood your brain's reward system with easy dopamine hits. Think of your brain like a sophisticated engine. Those first 90 minutes are like premium fuel. You can either use them to power meaningful progress, or you can burn them up on small reactions and distractions. This is what most people's mornings look like. They wake up, they check their phone, they answer the emails, and they also scroll through social media. They feel scattered, but they can't stop checking. And by the time you actually have a moment to think about building wealth, 2 things have already happened. Your premium mental energy is gone, and your brain is addicted to quick hits rather than strategic thinking. Here's a micro decision that changed everything for me. Creating a shield around your first 30 minutes, specifically designed to reset your brain's reward system. Step number 1 is the physical setup. So your phone is going to stay in another room. You can also turn into grayscale mode if you have to use it nearby, and there's no screens except for specific wealth building tools. Step number 2 is to replace reactive tasks with strategic ones. You're going to review your investment strategy. You're going to analyze potential opportunities. You're also plan your next money move and read 1 article about wealth building. At first, this is going to be uncomfortable or even boring, and that's because your brain is used to these easy dopamine hits. But after about a week, something incredible happens. Week number 1, you're going to feel withdrawal. Week number 2, the mental fog is going to start lifting. Week number 3, you're going to begin enjoying strategic thinking. And then week number 4, you're going to actually look forward to wealth planning and entrepreneurship. The key isn't how much you do. It's about protecting your best mental energy for your own financial future, and also retraining your brain to get dopamine hits from wealth building activities rather than distractions. Think about the most successful investors that you know. They can sit and think deeply about strategy and numbers for hours. And it's not because they're different from you. It's because they train their brains to find a reward in different activities. Micro decision number 2 is turning passions into profits. Now that you've freed your mind from those constant dopamine hits, it's time to focus on transforming your passions into a profitable adventure. But what if you don't have a passion for business or investing yet? Now, the biggest reason that most people remain stuck in mediocrity is that they lack confidence to venture into the unknown. They can't connect the mental dots, so escaping the 9-to-5 grind seems almost impossible. Well, here's the truth. Every single expert was once a beginner. The key is to start small and consistently build your knowledge. Let's use real estate investing as an example. Step number 1, type real estate investing for beginners into the YouTube search bar. Step number 2, commit to watching one 15 to 20 minute video on this topic every single day until you find the information becoming repetitive. This might feel like you're wasting time covering the same content, but here's why it's crucial. Every single business venture has its own language. By immersing yourself, you're going to start connecting the dots and realizing that it's not as complex as it might seem. Consistency is key, and as you absorb more information, your subconscious starts weaving the pieces together. Suddenly, terms like cash flow, appreciation, and cap rate transform from jargon into intuitive concepts. I'm a real estate investor myself, and I remember feeling overwhelmed when I first started. But by dedicating just 20 minutes per day to self-education, the fog rapidly lifted. And here's the magical part. As your knowledge grows, so does your confidence. And with confidence comes the courage to take action, even in the face of uncertainty. So these micro steps lead to quantum leaps. So here's my challenge to you. Pick one business or investing avenue that sparks your curiosity. Commit to learning a little bit every single day and embrace the beginner's mindset and trust the process. With consistent action, what starts as a flicker of interest can turn into a profitable business. Micro decision number 3 is the wealth environment effect. Your environment shapes your decisions more than willpower ever could. And this isn't just motivational talk, it's backed by behavioral science. Studies show that 95% of our daily decisions are made by our subconscious mind, largely influenced by our immediate environment. environment. The age-old advice holds true. You are what you eat, and you are who you spend the most time with. So if you want to build wealth, you need to surround yourself with people who are doing the same thing. In many traditional 9-to-5 environments, there's often a lot of drama involved. So asking questions can make you feel stupid or incompetent. That's not really a conducive environment for growth. Now, in the world of entrepreneurship and business, asking thoughtful questions is celebrated. People are happy to share their knowledge and experiences with you. And that's really the power of surrounding yourself with like-minded individuals. So here's a micro decision. Every single day, commit to interacting with people online in the industry that you want to be in. If it's real estate investing, check out forums like Bigger Pockets. And if it's business, find relevant LinkedIn or Facebook groups or even Twitter. Now, there's an art to asking good questions. You don't want to waste people's times with questions that you could easily Google. Instead, ask specific, detailed questions that demonstrate that you've done your homework. For example, instead of asking a question like, what does cash flow mean? Which is a question that can easily be found in 5 seconds on Google. Try something like this instead. I'm analyzing this long-term rental deal. Here are the numbers, my debt to income ratio, and it meets the 1% rule. Is this deal too good to be true, or am I missing something? By asking intelligent, well thought out questions, you're going to get detailed, insightful responses. You're going to start building relationships with people who have similar goals, and who knows, this often leads to partnerships and also mentorships. The micro decision is simple but powerful. Invest your time into communities that uplift and educate you. And remember, your environment is constantly shaping you, whether you realize it or not. So choose your influences wisely. Place yourself in environments that pull you towards the life that you want, rather than anchoring you to the life that you're trying to leave behind. Micro decision number 4 is the wealth identity shift. The final and most pivotal micro decision isn't about what you do, it's about who you become. Because most people attempt to build wealth while clinging to their current identity. Well, this creates a subtle internal conflict that eventually sabotages their efforts. Trying to become physically fit while still identifying as someone who hates exercise and loves junk food. It's going to become an uphill battle, right? Every single decision becomes a willpower struggle between who you are and who you're trying to become. The same principle applies to wealth building. If you identify as someone who is bad with money, who never has enough, or who isn't worthy of wealth, you're constantly going to be fighting against yourself. The micro decision that changes everything is constantly choosing what I call your wealth identity. Ask yourself these questions. How would a wealthy person approach this financial decision? What would someone who is great with money do in this situation? And how would a successful investor think about this opportunity? Let's make this real with an example. Say you're considering buying a new house or a car. The average person might think, hey, can I actually afford the monthly payments? But a wealthy person would approach it differently. They'd ask themselves, is this an appreciating or depreciating asset? What's the opportunity cost of tying up my money in this purchase? And how will this impact my cash flow and financial freedom? Too many people inadvertently trap themselves just by making one poor financial decision. They commit themselves to a mortgage for the sake of owning a home, not realizing that they're chaining themselves to a job just to keep up with the payments. Or they buy a car with a monthly payment that eats up their income, robbing them of the ability to save and invest. These decisions made without a wealth mindset can put you on a financial treadmill that's hard to escape. But when you start thinking like a wealthy person, you make different choices. Prioritize assets that generate income over liabilities that drain your wealth. So you consider the long-term implications of each financial move. If you want to shift your identity, start by surrounding yourself with wealth-building influences. You can start by reading biographies of successful investors and entrepreneurs. Immerse yourself in environments that normalize and celebrate financial success. Personally, I'd pair this with the wealth environment micro decision to make this easier. Next, you want to begin to reframe your internal dialogue. Replace thoughts like I'm not good with money with I'm learning to manage money well. Instead of thinking investing is too risky, try I'm becoming a skilled investor. These might feel untrue at first, but remember, every new identity starts with a period of faking it until you make it. And as you consistently make decisions from this new identity, something remarkable happens. Your external reality begins to shift to match your internal identity. Wealth building actions start to feel natural, even inevitable. You'll find yourself attracted to opportunities you would have previously ignored or been too scared to pursue. So start consciously choosing your wealth identity. Before making any financial decision, big or small, ask yourself, what would a wealthy, financially savvy person do? Then take actions aligned with that identity. And remember, you don't need to have all the answers up front. Just focus on making the next decision from the standpoint of your new wealth identity. With time and consistency, you're going to be astonished at how your external financial reality begins to mirror your internal shift. Wealth, after all, is an inside game. The most powerful shifts happen not in your bank account, but in your sense of self. Embrace your new wealth identity, and your future self is going to thank you. Now, I want to keep this video straightforward and actionable. These 4 micro decisions might seem simple, but don't underestimate their power. In fact, I firmly believe that if you focus on just these 4 things, you're going to be well on your way to transforming your financial life in 2025 and beyond. You don't need a laundry list of habits to change or an overly complicated system. By consistently applying these 4 micro decisions to your daily life, you're going to unleash a powerful compounding effect. So start small. These small, smart choices made repeatedly over time lead to big results. I've seen the impact of these micro decisions not only in my own life, but in the lives of my own students and countless others. When you protect your mental energy, you turn your passions into profits, you create your environment and shift your identity, building wealth becomes almost inevitable. So here's my challenge to you. Don't just watch this video and think, okay, that sounds nice. Take action. Commit to implementing at least one of these micro decisions starting today, and then build on that momentum with another small win tomorrow. Let these tiny victories compound over the weeks and months ahead. And as you start to see these shifts in your bank account, your investment portfolio, your earning power, and your peace of mind, drop a comment below and let me know. I'd love to celebrate your progress. And remember, building wealth is a skill, and like any skill, it can be learned, practiced, and mastered. The path to wealth is paved with tiny choices. By optimizing your micro decisions, you're going to be astonished at the macro changes that unfold in your financial life. Your 2025 self is going to thank you. And one last thing, don't wait until the end of the year to implement this. The new me doesn't start from January 1st, 2025. It starts the moment that you realize that your days are numbered, and every single one of them deserves to be lived in the best way possible, aligned with your highest potential potential and purpose. With that being said, please like this video if you found this helpful, subscribe, and we'll see you in the next video.